idea of who's playing tonight for City?
Right, I'll start with the goalkeeper, Edison, like usual. The back line, we've got Cancelo, Diaz, Ake, and Mendy.
Yeah.
Laporte not in again. Two holding midfielders, Gundogan and Rodri again. De Bruyne in front of them, who is the captain. Sterling on the left, Foden on the right, and Jesus up top.
So, first things jumped to mind for you there. Foden started. That's amazing. That's great. Laporte, I'm assuming, is on the bench. He's not injured.
Yeah, he's on the bench.
And we're playing a double pivot again. Obviously, not as defensive with having Gundogan in this time as well. That's a strange team.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd do the double pivot against maybe just a bit of a lower team. Maybe Chuck Bernardo in the middle or whatnot, but he's the manager.
He is, and he gets paid a lot of money to decide it more than we do, doesn't he? So who are we to argue? Let's, as long as we need goals today, we need goals. Yeah. That's one thing I'm looking for this game. It's going to be it's not a score draw. Yeah. So everyone on Facebook, everyone on YouTube, hello everybody. What do you think of that team news? So I'm just going to give it another run out. So we've got Ake playing, yeah.
Yep.
So we got Edison, Cancelo. So I'm just thinking here, Cancelo be on the right wing. We'll have Ake and Diaz and Mendy on the left wing. We'll have Rodri, Gundogan, and the forward three of Foden. Do you think Foden's going to play on the right wing? KDB, Sterling, and obviously Jesus up front. What do you think of that team, Blues? What do you think of that, Ollie, when you see it straight away?
Oh, I see a strong enough team to win the game.
Yeah.
We just need to score goals, like you said. Sterling needs to stop dancing in the box and put it in the net, really.
That's the odd dancing. Do you know what? I've had a lot of Blues saying that he's tired, he should be dropped, etc., etc. I like Sterling. I think Sterling was our leading goal scorer last season, so it'd be a bit of a shame to drop him. This is the type of game where he could have an absolute blinder and could score a couple of goals, isn't it? So I think dropping him for this type of game would be do him no good for his confidence. But hello, James Taylor, how we doing? Ryan Askew, how we doing? Chris Fons, yeah, FFS, finally Foden started. Yes, Chris, I like it, pal. I'm really looking forward to watching Foden. And he must be absolutely chomping at the bit to prove himself, because Pep's always said, for the last couple of weeks, if you're good enough, you play well, you get regular starting position, we need him to be playing it every time. Dan Fielding called it with Ake. You did, pal. Well in. So I don't know how I feel about Gundogan and Rodri. He seems very defensive for a game like this. Or do you think I'm being a bit harsh to West Brom there?
If you look at the table, I'm sure they're quite near the bottom. I don't think you're being harsh at all, really, to be honest. But would love to see Foden in the middle with De Bruyne with Rodri behind him.
Yeah,
that's I think Foden's best position, but he seems to always play him forward.
Well, we've got West Brom have got in 19th place on 6 points, minus 16 goal difference, and they've got 12 points in total. They're played 12 games in total, so minus 16 goals. That's only matched in comparison to Sheffield United, who are bottom of the league, on 1 point. We've got to be. I don't understand unless Gundo's going to play more forward than what he has previously.
Possibly.
And KDB kind of swaps through. It'd be nice to see KDB playing a bit more advanced of these days, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
James Taylor, Sterling hat-trick tonight. So what's your score prediction for tonight, Oliver? You prefer Ollie or Ollie? Do you have a preference?
I want to go. Either or, up to you.
Ollie.
Would love to go 3-0 to City.
Who's your scorers?
Jesus 2, De Bruyne 1 from the penalty spot.
Do you know what? It would be nice to score a penalty tonight. We need to get that consistency with penalty takers.
Yeah. That
we've had previously, and we seem a bit inconsistent with it at the moment, which is always a disappointing side of things. So for him to get a goal through a penalty, I won't begrudge him from that. I don't know who play fantasy football either, but he's in a fantasy football team, so I definitely want him to do something tonight. Jane Livesey going for 4-0 to City. I hope so, Jane. I really want us to put in a good performance tonight. I just hope it's not a drab bore draw, but I think after the slating the team and Pep's had from the Borefest on Saturday night against United, we've got to come out the blocks today, haven't we? And absolutely go for them.
Well, yeah, I think so. Well, Mahrez has been dropped. He was sluggish in the forward third against United. So either he's just rotation or he's actually dropped him. Not sure, but we need the presence up front that we have had in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
I'm looking forward to watching Mendy play. I'm looking forward to watching.
Agree.
I think this could be the perfect game for him, because I saw a fantastic stat a few days ago where I'll try and get it up again about us scoring more goals with him in the team. Yeah, so with Mendy playing, we've had 13 goals in 5 games, and without Mendy playing, 4 goals in 6 games. So it certainly makes me wonder that is he that divine inspiration that we need on the flanks, crossing in all the balls. Obviously, he scored one himself, didn't he, a few weeks ago, his first goal for City. It's just going to be interesting to see now, because traditionally in the last couple of games we've had a really solid back four. Now he's made 2 substitutions, 2 changes to that. Do you think that'll make a difference for us, or are you not expecting our defence to be that worried?
I think Diaz has brought in massive improvement. I would have loved to have seen Stones again tonight. He's been brilliant for the last 6 weeks. Cancelo is good. He seems like he's good enough. Pep trusts him. You just never know with Mendy. I really like him, but he has taken his chances the last couple of times he's played. So I think we should be all right.
You should. And for me, with Ake playing, Laporte's got to be scratching his head, wondering what he has to do to be able to get into this team. How would you be feeling if you were Laporte? What you everyone thinking on Facebook? What's going on with Laporte? This is Chris Fons. How you doing, Chris? What's going on with Laporte? Why is he never playing anymore? Honestly, I don't know. What do you think, Ollie? What do you think with Laporte? What's going on?
I don't know. He's gone from the most trusted defender we've had to 3rd or 4th pick in the centre backs, which is completely strange. Pep said in his press conference yesterday, you can't get angry. You just got to move on, and when you're called on, you're called on. So surely he's a good enough professional to go, all right, soon, considering our Christmas schedule. I
do think that. I do think there's plenty of games left to play, and I still think Laporte will have a massive influence in the way we play going forward. I don't think we can rule him out lock stock just yet. I think there's a lot of time for him to play for us, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. So many games left, considering it only takes one injury to Ake or even Stones or Diaz to bring him straight back into the team, really.
It's funny, isn't it, with Diaz? Diaz has just been there, solid. Walker there, solid. So the undroppables are your Diaz, the Walkers, and the Edersons at the moment in that back 5, aren't they? So it's up to a scrap for everyone else to be able to go into the game and know what's going on. So just to give everyone a recap of the team again. So we got Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Ake, Mendy, Rodri, Gundogan, KDB, who's captain, Sterling, Foden, and Jesus. Big game for Jesus this tonight. I want to see him active. I want to see him really pressing. Big game for Foden as well. Do you know? I really want him to do well tonight. He's got to have a really strong game tonight. And just to give everyone an idea of the subs bench, we got Stefan in net, Walker, Angelino, Laporte, Bernardo, Torres, and Mahrez. That's a hell of a strong. Crikey, that's a strong bench, isn't it? Stefan, Walker, Aguero, Laporte, Bernardo, Torres, and Mahrez.
Love to see half an hour out of Aguero tonight. Honestly,
it would be good, wouldn't it? What games have we got next week? Do we know what games we're playing next week? Just to give me an idea of.
We have Southampton.
Yeah.
Arsenal in the cup away, and then after Christmas we have Newcastle at home.
After Christmas, Newcastle at home. Give me 2 seconds. So they are keen games to give Sergio time. It really makes me really nervous with it potentially picking up any injuries or any niggles. And we shouldn't think like that. He's a striker. He needs to be playing matches, doesn't he? Get back to fighting fit. Again, this could be a perfect game for him to come in, give Jesus 80 minutes, 70, 80 minutes, because Pep doesn't, for some reason, like making substitutions, and put Sergio on for the last 10 minutes to try and get his match fitness and match sharpness up. But again, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want him to pick up another England injury where he'll be out again for another couple of months. It's such a tough one, isn't it? Stones, Am I disappointed Stones isn't playing? Yes, but I do think this is a well-deserved rest. I feel that he's getting by his injury issues, and for him to be rested tonight, I'm not gutted about that. I think, like you said before, it would have been nice to see that partnership and that back four, that back five playing consistently. Sure. That would have been really nice. But actually, do you know what? When he's played so many games, he's been so consistently good and played 100% every game. Giving him a rest won't be much of a bad thing. I don't think.
For sure. Yeah. It gives a chance to bring up Ake's match sharpness too, which is always good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just trying to see who else is mentioning stuff on Facebook. Give us 2 seconds. Frank Lane, think Pep is thinking making Champions League a priority and trying all these defensive setups. Yeah, Frank, I can understand where you're going with that. We've certainly got enough strength in depth now to be able to certainly shore up any defensive issues that we might have. J Mangan, I would play Aguero against Arsenal for 60 minutes. When is the Arsenal match, did you say, Ollie?
23rd. For me, anyway.
22nd in the UK, 8 o'clock on the 22nd. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And that's the quarter-final, isn't it? So, yeah, do you know what, Jay? I don't disagree with you there, pal. If he can get a couple of minutes tonight and prove his fitness, it'll be good, that. Jack Brown, need to keep Laporte happy. He's one of the best centre-backs in the world. Don't want him going anywhere else. Pep is a you-know-what wind-up. Jack, he's not a wind-up, is he? He's playing the people in the position who deserves to be in that position. I can't see... If Stones was to get dropped and Laporte came in, everyone would be saying, well, Pep's winding up, Stones not playing him. So I kind of disagree with you there, pal. I think Stones has deserved every minute that he's played. Ryan Askew should go for the win tonight. 4-1 I'm going for. Could see Saturday being a banana skin. Don't say that. I'm another one concerned about Laporte. Anyone thought he might be sold next month? He's not going to be sold, Jay. There's no way on God's green earth we're going to sell a defender before the end of next season. I just can't see it. And do you know what? If Laporte turned round to Pep and said, "Actually, I want to be sold. You're not playing me," I don't want him playing for City. If he's that mentality, that's what There's other players that have come to Pep and said that, and they've been shipped out. If we don't want that type of player playing for us, play me or I leave. All right, then there's the door, mate.
I feel like the only player he didn't do that for was Eric Garcia. He continued to play him. He must rate him highly after he didn't want a new contract and Barcelona look like they're gonna pick him up. Yeah,
I think there's a lot to be said there about he had another half a year left on his contract and he's still an asset that can be used and can be played. I don't agree that he should be being played as much as the other players in the team, because we have got a strong team, but I think there's a Catalan thing there as well, because Garcia's Catalonian, isn't he, along with Pep. So I think there's a bit of local loyalty within that relationship. I'm sure of it. Brian Blizzard, is there a problem between Pep and Laporte? No, Brian. I just think people are wanting it more in training. There might be, for all we know, Laporte said something, but he's on the bench, so. Might get game time. He might just be thinking, actually, you know what? Let's wait for Laporte to. We might need Laporte on the latter end of the season or the latter end of the Champions League. So we go from there. Jack Brown, I agree 100% regarding Stones. He's been unbelievable. Laporte is without a doubt our best centre half. I know Diaz has been unbelievable, but tonight was a perfect game for Laporte to come back in and get right back into contention. Okay, Jack, I know where you're coming from with that. But what about Ake? Where would Ake fit into that? Or was he a waste of time signing for you and we should have played Laporte over it? Just playing devil's advocate there, pal. Let me know what you think of that. Right, Ollie. Strikers.
Yep.
Strikers. I think City are in desperate need of a sort of competitor to Jesus up front.
I agree.
Pep's come out and said that he doesn't think he's going to play him, buy a new striker in January. Where do you fit into this? Where do you stand with this?
I do think we need another striker. Just going back to, say, let's go 2014, we had Jovetic, Aguero, Dzeko, Negredo. That's four strikers, right? Two of them pretty big ones. I think we need another one like that. And the main name that sticks out is Erling Haaland, obviously. That's who I think City should target. But I definitely do think we need another striker for sure.
So admin Tom's going to come and join us very soon. Come on, Tom, get yourself involved in this. It'd be interesting to know your points. Haaland, for me, is the only striker I'm interested in City signing at the moment. I think he's just consistently thereabouts. He's literally the name I think City need to take us to the next step. The only thing I'm worried about is he is such a popular name at the moment. City don't really have the habit of buying the popular names, do they? They'll sign a Ferran Torres, for example, who's a proper left field. Was for me anyway. It wasn't for admin Dan. He wanted him to bring Torres, but I don't watch that much European football, to be honest. So I had no idea who he was before we signed. I'll be brutally honest about that. But if we're not going to sign Haaland, then we can't rely on Jesus all the time. Definitely can't rely on Sergio. So what's he going to do? Is he just going to keep playing Sterling or Torres up front? What would you do if you were Pep? Would you bring somebody in, or for you?
I would sign a striker first, but if he couldn't, I know he gave Delap one game. Yeah, he showed he was good enough. I think, given the chance, he would. I'm not sure how good he is every week in, week out. He showed that he took his chance when he had it, but I'd still think he would put Sterling or Torres up front, which I think is Sterling's worst position.
This is an interesting point about we made on the show last night that Foden's not being played in that typical David Silva replacement position. Was obviously when Silva was leaving, Foden was going to be slotted into that position. Foden seems to be more of a forward at the moment.
Yep.
Do you see anything in that?
The only thing I can say, like, why he's doing that, it's only because he likes the double pivot so much at the moment. Trying to think of a game where we didn't. Bernardo started. It could have been maybe West Ham game or something. Foden comes on, plays forward, scores a goal. I would like to see him next to De Bruyne with a 3 in the midfield, like I think he should be. But I think Pep sees something that we don't, obviously.
Just looking at some stats from Phil Foden, he'll be making his 50th Premier League appearance tonight for City. In that time, he scores 8 goals, had 3 assists, and he's got a 153.4 minute goal contribution. And obviously, he's won the Premier League twice, which is obviously a good little thing in his box.
Yeah.
50th Premier League appearance. Hopefully, you can make a bit more from that. And here's our man in the know.
Hang on 1 second, fella. I'm just trying to get my audio on.
Yeah, no problem. Just so everyone's aware, Tom's at the ground tonight, doing his press piece for Manchester is Blue, along with other companies as well, I'm sure. So he's he's literally at the ground now.
Now try again.
Yeah, can you hear us, pal?
I can't hear you. 1 minute. Technical difficulties, eh?
No worries, my mate.
Let's try this one. There you go, one more time.
Yeah, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I've got yous now. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good, mate, good. How's the ground looking tonight?
Yeah, it's looking empty, as always. Hopefully this will be the last time we see an empty Etihad. I'll turn my laptop around for you just so you can have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look. Love this.
Of the
I miss that place so much. Look at that.
There you go. So yeah, they've just come out to warm up now. So you say, I'm sure you've all seen, obviously, the team news. Some interesting names in there. I don't think many of us would have called seeing Ake tonight, but we've got a strong enough squad to go out there and get the job done tonight. So it should be a good game. I'm hoping. Oh,
look at that, Chris Lane. How we doing, pal?
Yeah, all right, mate.
Look at that beautiful pitch. Are you a little bit jealous? Because I am.
Just words fail me.
I miss it so much, Tom. Thanks for sending that picture, mate. Send us a couple of pictures, will you, so we can post them out on Facebook and Twitter.
I'll bring back my ugly mush. I'll pop some pictures over to you in a minute.
Nice one. So tell us, what's your thoughts on the team, mate? What's the general consensus going on with the press crowd tonight with Laporte not starting again, Foden starting? What's your thoughts?
It's a strange one. I had Foden in my predicted line. I thought Foden would play tonight, but one man who, like I just said, I didn't have was Nathan Ake, which again poses a question as to why Laporte's being left on the bench and Ake's being brought in. So it'll be an interesting one. It's good to see him get some minutes. Obviously, not played much since he picked up that injury on international duty. And as far as games go, this is one of the ones that you'd have on the easier list per se. Obviously, no game's easy in the Premier League, but this is one where if you're going to make rotation and give players minutes, you'd like to think the likes of West Brom at home will be a comfortable game to do that. But I think we've got enough out there to go and get the job done tonight. I'm hoping Jesus can find himself a couple of goals, because I think he really needs it. But as far as strength goes, I think we're looking good for hopefully a comfortable victory tonight.
Have you seen West Brom where they are in the league at minus 16 goal difference? We need to be absolutely smashing this lot tonight. We need to be getting our own goal difference up. This is the type of game I'm waiting for tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I think I do fancy a big win tonight. I think they're missing that Pereira, their striker up front. He's out of suspension again, and he's sort of their creative outlet. So, I can't see him causing us many problems tonight. But like you say, we've seen strange results in the Premier League this season. But no, I can't see past a comfortable City win tonight.
Chris Lane, how we doing, my mate? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad.
What's your thoughts on the game tonight? What are your thoughts on the team sheet, firstly?
It's a fairly strong squad from what I've seen. The thing with Laporte, half of me's thinking that something's going on and there's been a bit of a bust up. Another half part of me's thinking, he's picked up an injury. He's been rested the last couple of games rather than risking him, and then obviously like Tom's just said, West Brom, the second from bottom. You give the more fringe players a bit of a run around, and on paper you would say that Ake is back up to Laporte at that left side of centre back. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that at the minute. The rest of the team looks fairly strong. I'm still a bit miffed that we've gone for two defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
I'd always say Gundogan's a more defensive. He's not attacking midfielder certainly, but then I suppose it's still better. It's a step up from Fernandinho and Rodri. So
yeah, we were just me and Oliver were just literally having that conversation where I am a little bit disappointed. It seems like a very defensive lineup from that aspect of things. I'm just hoping Gundogan plays a little bit more forward, maybe just a little bit more behind Kevin De Bruyne when we're going up, and Kevin pushes into that forward three more. So it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, it makes me question. I mean, we're on about rotation. Tom saying he's brought Ake in possibly to rotate with Laporte. Why is De Bruyne playing then? I mean, that guy, he must be absolutely knackered. He's basically been carrying this team in terms of attacking outlets. People have made comments about how frustrated he looks on the pitch because things aren't going our way as, like they should be. To me, this should be the game. A team that's conceded however many goals, minus 16 goal difference. You'd think, give the man a break, let Foden pull the strings in midfield, or Bernardo Silva, let him play that role, and we've still got the creative players. Have him on the bench, and if you desperately need him, then he's there. But he just seems a bit of a. He rotates some players that you think, well, yeah, fair enough, and then other players you think could really do with the breather, and give other players the chance to shine. He doesn't. So it's half of one, 60 dozen of the other.
Yeah.
I just hope Jesus gets on the score sheet if he's going to be playing as a striker. I still think they'll be swapping around a lot of the front three. I think it looks like he's going to be Foden, Sterling, and Jesus up front basically between the three of them.
So I've got some
loads of goals.
I've got some cracking stats here against West Brom. City have won 14 times in a row against West Brom.
2020 though, isn't it?
We haven't lost to West Brom since 2008, and we've never lost at home to West Brom in the Premier League, which tells me it's going to be 1-1.
I'm going 2-1 West Brom.
Ollie, how worried would you be about complacency going into this game? Do you think Pep's going to be rattling that cage to make sure the players are right up for this, or do you think he's going to be thinking they're professional enough to go for it?
Oh, for sure. I think he'll be harping on about the importance of getting a goal really early, as early as possible, like the Fulham game. De Bruyne straight through the middle and we're away. Complacency was an issue sometimes in the last couple of seasons, but I think he's rattled it out pretty much rattled it all out of him, to be honest.
It's got to be Annie. Tom, what's your general feeling on Mendy playing tonight? Has anyone heard anything about Mendy? I'm assuming he's going to be right up for this.
Yeah, I think these are the games that you like to see Mendy in, where he doesn't have, he hopefully won't have as much to do defensively, and he can get forward and sort of. We know what his ability is going forward, and I don't think many people question that. I think the question is where it lies in his defensive capabilities. And tonight he shouldn't hopefully have an awful lot to do. So he's a great option to have. It's nice to see Walker getting a rest. Cancelo back on his supposedly stronger right-hand side. So it's like we said, the sort of strength and depth that we've got is second to none in the league, and the ability to bring in a £50 million signing as a backup per se at left back is quite a nice nice option to have. But I think as far as West Brom go, one player who I would say to look out for is Conor Gallagher.
Oh yeah,
he's sort of been in and amongst the goals for them recently. He did really well on loan at Swansea last season, and sort of as far as their attacking outlet go, he seems to be the one that they've been using in recent weeks, especially. He was unlucky at Old Trafford. I think he won a penalty that got overturned by some very questionable VAR decisions. So, I mean, like I say, I can't see there being many issues tonight. But if you're looking for someone to look out for West Brom, I keep an eye on Conor Gallagher, because he's sort of been as far as their form goes, he's been their most informed player in recent weeks.
So he's going to be their man of the match, do you reckon? If anyone's going to cause any problems, it's him.
Yeah, if anything's going to happen on in attack for West Brom, I'd put my money on it being Conor Gallagher being involved in that in some respect. He sort of plays that kind of the Brom role for us, and that he's given that free role in front of the midfield to sort of do what he wants. So yeah, keep an eye on him. But yeah, as far as the game goes, I'm looking at a comfortable 3-4-0 victory.
3-4-0 is he going for? Can you take me through the you coming into the ground? Are you still all right time wise, Tom? By the way.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to kick off now. Go grab a Bovril in a minute. But
good lad. Love a Bovril and a chicken balti pie. Take me through you coming into the ground there and the safety checks that they did with COVID and stuff like that. I'm just really interested to know your process from getting out the car to going in.
So it's all sort of a one-way system around the Etihad, I should expect. Follow it round to the City at Home hub where you go in, and it's a temperature check. They send you a medical questionnaire over on the morning of the game that you have to submit, basically to say, I've not got a cough, I've not got a sneeze, and basically.
Are you a United fan? No.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. All the important questions, and then once that's submitted and you're accepted in, it's sort of round, quick temperature check when you get here, and then just in and sort of check through, obviously, as you would at a game, check through all your stuff. And then, obviously social distancing in the seats. Sort of, I don't know if you can see, we've got, where I'm sat, you sort of got plenty of seats here, which would usually be fully occupied. I've got sort of 8 seats on my row, and there's plenty of rows, but it's sort of 1 per row at the minute because of COVID. So what would usually be 8 times the capacity is obviously very limited at the minute, hence why getting in is very difficult. But yeah, just as you'd expect anywhere, really. Check your temperature, make sure you're not dying, and just sit away from everyone and on you go. So,
do you know what, Tom? We've had more requests to see the ground than we have for your face, pal. I'm sorry. Can you show us the ground one more time?
It's all right. I was expecting it. You know what? I'll just sit here.
Look at that, absolute thing of beauty. Can you go find my seat for me, please? 223, right at the back, middle tier.
Where do we go? Wait, where are we thinking?
No, it's behind you, to your right. It's way to your right. It's way to your right. Yeah. Well behind, mate.
But like I say, I'll be radio for tonight, and I'll leave you with the view of the ground. And if you want to chat to me, I'll speak to you without me facing the shot.
Have they put those banners that cover the seats all the way up, or is that just the first row they've done that? You know, the massive flags they've got to cover the seats.
No, it's all the way up all around the ground. It's just in the third tier, the south stand at the bottom, and not quite all the way at the top. But yeah, the whole ground at the minute is covered by flags. So it'll be interesting to see where they choose to put everyone. I think it's East Stand, they're saying, for if we get fans back in. So I presume the first tier flags will be taken down. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, Newcastle on Boxing Day, we'll have some fans back in here. So this would be nice to be the last one without fans in the ground if we're lucky.
And we're all dependent on what the government says, aren't we, the next couple of days to what tier everything's going to be in and everything, letting people into the ground. And has anything been said to you as press about the ballot system that's been going round? I'm assuming everyone's put the ballot in for going to the game.
Yeah, nothing's been said other than what obviously has been said out to the public in terms of it's a ballot system, and should we get told, I think it's tomorrow we find out that we're down to tier 2, that they'll then sort of draw the ballot on a sort of impartial basis. And I think it's 2,000 we're allowed in, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Nothing, no sort of juicy gossip there, just what you've heard out and about.
I suppose they'll keep that type of stuff really QT, won't they? They'll keep that well behind closed doors, won't they, for obvious reasons, really?
Yeah, sure.
Good stuff. Right, okay. So, Ollie, did you give me a score prediction before? Did you say 3-0 or 3-1?
Yeah, 3-0.
3-0. So, Laney, Oliver's going for a KDB goal and 2 from Jesus. And a penalty from KDB.
I usually try and give like quite an honest score prediction. I really want this to be a 3-4-0 to City, and on paper it really should be. But there's something in my gut saying we're going to lose it 2-1, and I don't know why. I think it's going to be one of them. It's just there's something especially after everything you've just read out. Now we've not lost in the Premier League to them at home, and it's this season for more than most, I think, in the last 20 years, seems to be what you would call typical City. It just seems to be one of those seasons. I'm not even blaming COVID. I just think for whatever reason, City just seem to be going back to their old ways of teams we should be smashing. We're lucky to get a point from that. So I'm really hoping for a 3-0.
So today could be for you as a fan going forward. Today could be either actually, do you know what? They've proved me right. We are regressing a bit backwards with regards to tactics and strategy, or actually we could be getting back into free-flowing gung-ho City again. It really depends on the scoreline, doesn't it, for you today?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the team and Pep proving me right or wrong, like I said, I'm giving him until, I think it's the 13th of January when we play Brighton. That's the 6th Premier League game from now, basically.
Yeah.
Because I'm comparing the whole situation to how it was with Sparky when he got sacked. But I'm remaining positive. I'm just going to take everything as it comes. Like I said, on paper, there's only Chelsea really we should not struggle with, but they're the only team I look at and think they're going to give us a game. And Arsenal in the League Cup, but I'm not really fussed about that at the minute. I thought every other team we've got, even Everton, they used to be a bogey team for City, but they don't concern me anymore. But that's the worrying thing. I'm not concerned about West Brom or Brighton or Everton or the other teams. It's just there's this niggling feeling like when I used to, back when we were in Division 1 or back when we were under Kevin Keegan, there was just something niggling in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Like a bloody flea, and you just can't get rid. So it just feels like I'm being a City fan again. This is what it used to feel like.
This is what it feels like to be City.
Yeah, this was it. It was just like, yeah.
Tom,
you expect the worst, and
I'm
love it when the best happens.
Trying to be positive, pal. Tom, how many journalists are there, pal? Is there quite a few?
About 20, 30 of us, maybe 40 at most. But as I say, it's sort of 8 per row, and usually for any home Premier League game when I've been in the past, non-COVID, you'd be 8 people per row. So I think the press area holds about 200 people.
Okay.
Probably about 30, 40 of us there at most at the minute. So,
I hope they're looking after you, pal.
yeah, no hot food or nice little buffets like we'd usually get when we're not socially distancing. But like I said, we got a brew and a bottle of water. So yeah, like I say, I feel incredibly lucky sort of to be in as a fan as well as sort of my role as a journalist to be able to be here and watch a game when other people can't. Like I say, I can't complain. Just the fact that I'm in here is happy days for me.
Oh, brilliant! Right, well, lads, we're gonna love you and leave you. What we've got is we've got Chris Lane doing our commentary for us, and Chris, you'll be on in about 20 minutes or so. So we're doing that. So everyone on Facebook Live, go and get yourselves a drink. And what do you say, Chris? Cup of tea and a bacon butty?
Brekkie and a brew, usually.
Brekkie and a brew. That's it. More from our morning show.
I'm going to be as good as I can be tonight. I really will try to be on my best behaviour.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Well, do you know what, mate? The thing is, it's past 8 o'clock. You can do what you like.
That'll be me.
Just, you know where I draw the line, so I'm sure you can be in and around that area. I'm sure you'll be fine there, pal. So you'll be all right. Ollie, thank you very much for joining us, pal. We look forward to having you on again. Tom.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
so
no
much.
worries, pal. Tom, we'll speak to you after the game, mate. And keep dropping those things through for us, those pictures.
I might, if you're still going at half time, I might jump in at half time and have a quick chat with Laney as well if there's enough going on to chat about. So yeah, I'll either chat to you guys after the game or
I'll make sure you've got the link, pal. Right, fantastic.
Perfect.
Laney, have a good one, pal. I'll speak to you very soon, and thank you for watching on Facebook.